That week one tie against the Colts in Houston. Can they get one here in Jacksonville? Pierce breaking tackles. Pierce still on his feet. And they finally bring him down.
Okay, so there's been a lot of discourse about Dameon Pierce over the last, I don't know, I'd say week or two probably. And I'm here to talk about why they're not right. I don't agree with them. I don't think that's how it's going to play out. But yeah, I'm going to go over that with you guys now. This is Home Field Advantage. I am Greg, or the Hype FFL. Hype FFL is my Twitter and my YouTube and everything. So I'll put those links on, down in the description or probably up on the screen here. But yeah, a lot of the chatter that's going on when it comes to Damien Pierce right now is that a lot of the consensus is they don't believe in Damien Pierce being that great after this year. A lot of talks of fading him and just not running with him, maybe trading him. I mean, for the right haul, sure, you can trade him, but I'm here to tell people why he's not a trade. In fact, I think he's a buy. I'm going to get into that stuff now. So over the season, he averaged 72 yards a game and had 4.27 yards per carry, which is pretty good. That's actually really great. I get into his 17 game pace, which I prefer to do 16. I've been thinking about it lately because a lot of fantasy seasons are the 16 game. So I usually like to do that, but I do 17 just to keep it even with the season. So if you look at his 17 game pace, because he was hurt for the last 4 games, which is a point that I'm going to get to next, because there's something to be said for that as well. So in a 17 game pace, he would have had 288 carries, 1,227 rush yards, 39 catches, 216 yards, and 1,443 total yards, and 6.6 touchdowns. Now that can kind of go, lean a little this way or a little that way. Same with some of your receiving yards, give or take. But I think that's probably about right. If anywhere from 6 to 7 probably feels right if he had 4 more games. That's 327 total touches, which is a lot. That's a lot for a running back. That's workhorse numbers. He had a 67% snap count, and that's including the first week where he had 29% or something. I'm going to put the graphic up here, and it's crazy, the amount of work he got, and he's going to get more. He's going to get more being part of the system another year. I know it's going to be a new system. They're going new coach and stuff, but just being a part of the team. And he showed a lot of talent, which I want to clarify also. I believed in his talent. I drafted him in my 107 spot in my fantasy draft, my rookie draft in Dynasty this year. So I was a believer in Pierce. I saw what was coming with this guy. I liked him a lot coming out of college. I have a lot of shares of him, which isn't why I'm not being biased, because coming out of the season, right after he got hurt, a couple weeks into him being hurt, I was like, I should probably sell the guy. Now's the time. Get it while it's hot. Sell him while there's value to be had for him, and before this offseason discourse begins and people don't want to buy him. But now I'm thinking that's going to work in a lot of people's favor if they're smart about buying him. The total amount of fantasy points that 17 game pace would have led to is 200 fantasy points, which comes out to roughly the 10th spot. Ramondre had 210 and he was the 7th. It was weird. I was looking at Sleeper and it said he had 210.6 points and he was 7th, and Joe Mixon had 210.7 and he was 10th, or it was something, or 8th. It was something weird, and I think there was a little glitch there. But yeah, so he essentially would be roughly running back 10 in that spot, and that's give or take a touchdown or two, and then he's up another spot or two. So literally he's pushing top 10 numbers over a full season, and he's only going to get better over this next year. He'll have a young quarterback coming in and a good quarterback who can actually throw the ball, that'll take some of the numbers out of the box that he faces and give him more opportunities to get bigger plays, which he still did. It gives him room to work. He had 22 carries of 10 plus yards, which is 10% of all of his carries, because he had 220 without the 17 game pace. That's 10%. That's 1 out of every 10 runs he's getting 10 or more yards. Something else that I want to point out is his O-line. On PFF, they were the 26th worst O-line in the league, and on top of that, finished as the worst team in the league at generating yards before contact in the run game at 0.8 yards all year. That's so bad. He's not getting any room to work with, and he's still putting up numbers that are like good. A lot of it, I understand he had a lot of volume, but that's a plus. He keeps getting volume, and they improve. I can't imagine they won't improve their own line. So that's a big plus, that they do things that help the offense as a whole. That's going to help Dameon Pierce even more. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the injury thing. So he could have played the last 2 games. He could have played at least the final game, but the staff wanted to sit him, put him on IR, and let him heal up and keep him reserved for next year. That's a big sign. That's a huge sign that they want him. They see him as a part of the team, and they want to use him again next year. That's huge. They might, especially if he survives the first 2 days of the NFL draft, they might get someone in there to catch a few more, be a little more pass guy, because Rex Burkhead, he's going to be a free agent. He's off. And there was one other kid who's gone, and that's it. They have no other running backs. And they'll probably pick up a late one, but I see Pierce as the guy. They're going to work on the other parts of their offense in this draft. And I don't think running back's a concern, because they have Pierce. And Pierce can catch the ball. They just had a rough... he still had a pace for almost 40 catches, which is good. That's plenty good. They're going to have a lot more help in the offense this year. In the next couple of years, they like Pierce. The moral of this story is, when it comes to Dameon Pierce, is he's a big buy right now. He's a big buy. Buy him from the people who don't want him because they think, he's a round 4 back. You can't trust his starting ability, which is wrong. It's not right. There's players like James Robinson's and those guys that just didn't get to keep the starting job, even if they were good, but they weren't getting the work that Dameon Pierce is. Not quite the same. And with James Robinson, he was also undrafted, so it's a little different there. But there's plenty of guys that have been in the league that were later picks that they just played well, so they play them. He might not end up ever being the number 1 for the year, but you're gonna pretty much be guaranteed more than likely a top 10 guy. So buy him now while you can. It's just the right move to make. Buy now. You could even wait. You maybe even wait a little bit longer for that chatter to continue. And if you start to see people coming back onto the boat of Pierce before the draft, between now and the NFL draft, jump on it and buy that. That might be your best bet to get them, have to spend the least on him. Whoever's got him, talk to him, ask him some questions about how he feels about the guy, and maybe make a move. So that's pretty much it. Just wanted to get some stuff off of my chest that has to do with Dameon Pierce, because people are crazy for fading this guy. Houston wants him there. He played really well in the time that he played. They kept him off the field to keep him healthy. Once the season was pointless and he had an injury, he could have came back and said no. And that O-line's got to improve. There's no shot they won't improve the O-line. They're going to get a young new quarterback out there. They're going to want him protected as well. The overall offense will improve. And Dameon Pierce is a big buy. So thanks for watching. Thank you for listening to me. I'm just a dude talking about some football. I can always be wrong, but I feel really good about this one. So this has been HFA, and stay hydrated.